Another Minecraft tutorial. Today we are going to be building a basic armory. Just something that you can have that's really neat for like faction servers, or not even factions, I guess, more like servers where you have a multiplayer atmosphere in it that allows you to have an automatic armory. Now you can do it with any type of armor and weapons, that doesn't really matter. And this is just one that's very basic. It's not going to take up a whole lot of space if you don't want to. Sure, I built this one to be pretty wide and such just because I did. You can make it a little bit more simple if you want to, a little bit less complex when it comes to, the building, or you can make it even more complex. I've seen servers with these where they have them way up in the air and it drops them all the way down. That way nobody can, really get to it unless they swim up the water. But then it just makes it harder for anybody to be able to break into the chest area that has all of the stuff that you have stored, even though with a simple push of a button, they're going to be able to get the stuff anyway. So I've got this one separated between armor and weapons. I don't know why we got a sword there. We shouldn't have. We're going to go ahead and push this one now and see if we get all of our weapons. Well, there's our sword. Okay, so it must be a sword somehow. Just got into the wrong chest there. That was kind of weird. So we have our armor on one side and our weapons on the other. Now, if you would like, you can build it where you got them together. Let me just flip that switch right there. Now, I should be able to just push this button and you get all of it. Okay, you get all of your armor, all of your weapons in one push of a button. Now, personally, I prefer them to be separated because, hey, I want just armor. Now, you can do them each individually separate. If you want to do individually separate and have a separate button for each, you would do something similar to like a key code combination, or you would do just a huge wall that has them separated by at least one block, allowing you to do each individual item, like a helmet. If somebody wants a helmet, they can do a helmet. But this one, like I said, we're just going to keep this one basic. We might go ahead and do a more advanced one later on. Now for the loading of this, it's right up on top. It does load automatically through hoppers. Just fill the chests up. They're not full just because it takes forever to fill these things. So if you want to fill them right up to the brim, go right ahead. But I'm going to go ahead, come over here. So what we're going to need for this build, so we're building the armory. We're going to need a chest, or chests, I'm sorry, chests plural. We're going to need droppers. Now, you can use dispensers. I do believe actually in this build right here I use dispensers. Problem with dispensers, if they do fly it a little bit too far, the hoppers might accidentally pick it up. But we're going to go ahead and use droppers for this one. We need your weapons, your armor, item frames that I use to label everything with, buttons. You're going to need repeaters, redstone, your building block, a bucket of water, and your hoppers. So to get this started, let's go ahead and lay the foundation. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to place down some blocks. And I missed terribly back here. Okay, I didn't count, so we're going to hope and pray we got the right number for our water. Usually I'm within a block or two. Either it goes everywhere or it's one short. Perfect. Okay. So that's just the basic setup for it. That's just what you need to carry the items down. Now we're going to go ahead and drop in 4 droppers. Man, look at this. Terrible right now. You'd think I'm new to the game. Now I put 4 on each side. That way you've got them separated. So we're going to go ahead and place our droppers right there. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Place our droppers right there. Man, terrible right now. I'm going to go ahead and break this line of blocks that are behind our droppers. And we're going to place a repeater at every other one. I mean, you can replace them at every one, but I'm trying to keep the build as cheap as possible because most of you are probably going to be doing this in survival mode. So to keep it cheap, I use 2 repeaters and 2 redstone dust right there. I'm going to place another layer of blocks behind them. with redstone going to them. Now the reason you use the repeaters is, if I was to take and put this here, it probably won't let those go off. I know I never used to. Yeah, see, only one went off. If I break that, none of them are going off. Okay. So the reason being, the line actually has to go directly into the dropper or hopper, or I'm sorry, dropper or dispenser, in order for it to work. And then all you got to do is just run a redstone line backwards all the way up to wherever you want your button. We're going to place our button, say, right here. So place our button, place our redstone going to it, and then our item frame, we're going to want this one for armor. I'm sorry, for our weapons. Terrible right there, right? And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Connect all these with redstone. Button. Item frame. That one's going to be for armor. So now we just need to load everything. Now if you want to do, if you do want to make it a one button system, it's a whole lot cheaper. If you want to make it a one button system, we're just going to put these back. If you want to make it a one button system, you do the same thing, except for you do the same thing over here. So you'll run redstone, but you can place it like here, and then you can run your redstone right on top here, just like this, and then you'd run it down, around, and then right on top, just like this. And you wouldn't need all of these repeaters. You wouldn't need anything on this side. Okay, so you'd be able to break that out of there. You wouldn't need any of these over here. You would just need that. And then I'd probably put a repeater, I'd say right about there should be just the right distance to make them all go off. Let's take a look. Yep, there we go. They were all able to go off. But I prefer, like I said, I prefer them separated. So I'm going to go ahead and separate them again. Man, terrible right now. So now they're separated. That way you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I need a new sword and shovel and such. But I don't really need a chest plate, you know. It allows you to basically pick and choose, a little bit more customizable. Now, if you want to do, ultimately, you can add on even further. You can place another button and do shovels with this button. You know, put swords in this one, break that, and then you just need to separate all of these to where you have 4 separate ones, you know. Which, like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll do another tutorial at a later date that is a little bit more complex with the build, making it individualized items. Just for this one, though, we're going to keep it simple. So, your redstone's all connected. Now all you need to do is fill your dispensers, or your droppers. Wow. Now, I like to use hoppers and chests for this part also, just because it allows you to fill them with a lot and then not worry about it. Now, you cannot place 2 chests next to each other and have them separate with 2 separate inventories. Now, a lot of people get around that by using a trapped chest. The problem with a trapped chest, it will send a redstone signal through one hopper, and it will allow it to actually make it dispense that item as soon as you open that chest. So every time you open the chest to refill it, it will end up dropping out whatever item it is that you're trying to refill anyways. So to prevent that from happening, I just stack the hoppers too high. Now if you've got your own way to do it, you want to separate them just enough, you know, make this a little bit separate, you know, go 1 here, skip 1, 1 here, skip 1, 1 here, skip 1, 1 here. You can do that. I'm doing it this way because I'm trying to make it compact where nobody can just go, oh, hey, let me reach in here and grab one. You know, I mean, you still can reach this last one right here. But after you put the blocks here, nobody's reaching it. Actually, I like to put the block right down through the center here. That way nobody's reaching any of them unless they start to dig. And at that point, everybody's going to know because they're digging out the blocks. So all you got to do is just fill these chests now. I'm just going to throw a few items in there. I'm not going to actually fill the chest. I'm just going to throw one of each item in there. So we're going to do helmets, chest plates, pants, or leggings, I'm sorry, and boots. We're going to do our sword, our shovel, pickaxe, and our axe. Now the hoe, if you want to throw it in there, go ahead. You can throw another dropper right here and just put redstone coming from this side to it. Okay? And that way it'll drop in the hoe if you really want to. But most people don't really use hoes very often. And if they do, they store them in a chest right next to the garden because really there's nothing else to do with a hoe. You're not running around looking for stuff with a hoe in your inventory. Unless you're a pimp. But that's besides the point. So now that we've got the basic concept down, you just fill in the blanks here. You know, make it look nice. Whatever you want to do. Do it however you want to. I'm not going to bother filling it in like I did over here. I'm sure you guys get the point. Just fill it in. Make it look however you want to look. You don't have to use the same building blocks that I'm using. Use whatever you want. And then you're able to just push the button. Get your armor. I put the armor... Sorry about that. You gotta go up one. Ooh, doggy. Don't worry, guys. It's my first time, I promise. I don't know. Where'd my other one go? I'm missing a helmet. Is it still in here? Oh. Oh, there it is. Right there. Nice. So let's put our helmet in here. Our chest plate we put on accident. Put our chest plate back in there. Our leggings. Our boots. And you should be good to go now. Ready? Boop. There we are. Shazam. So there's your armor. There's your weapons. Okay, so it works. Like I said, tried to keep it cheap. I mean, sure, the hoppers are expensive. They do cost a lot of iron. But in the long run, it's kind of worth it to still do them because then you don't have to run up here and fill it up when it only takes 9 at a time. Your droppers only take 9 items. So to have to refill them after every 9 times somebody pushes a button, kind of a pain. So to use the hoppers, it's an easy way to keep loading those droppers without having to reload it every time. So that is the build. Very easy, very quick and simple. Now if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. Make sure to like for more content. We're going to go ahead and do another video at a later date of a more complex system. Like I said, that might include extra buttons to allow you to individually select different items. We might even build it up in the air, give it a little bit more fanciness to it. Just a little bit more complex of a system at a later date, just to kind of give you some more options as ways to build it. This is just for, you know, basically if you're starting out a multiplayer server, this is a really good one. So make sure to subscribe to see the future content, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.